guys, this is John Yim. We're over at round 2 of Lone Star Drift 2025. I wanted to show you how I set up, well, I say I set up, but Rudy Martinez at Texas Tires and Parts actually installed it for me. But I actually now have power steering in an SR86 Corolla. Not only do I have power steering, I have a lot of extra angle now. Even before, when I was running the manual rack, never had this much power steering or this much angle in the past. So I get full spin and everything. Anyway, so the way I did it, or the way it's configured, is the whole, basically from the front end forward, is S13, including the engine. So we have a S13 subframe. The subframe installs by just wallowing out the holes just a little bit, because the holes are really close to the factory holes. So they just have to be wallowed out a little bit, and they bolt right in. Once it's installed, then you can install any S13 control arms, tension rods, whatever you need. So as you can see, a lot of this is S13 stuff. So we have an S13 subframe, obviously, S13 subframe, S13 stock lower control arm. So actually, if I wanted more angle, I can actually replace that lower control arm and with an adjustable to get a little bit more angle. Technically, I can even put Y-stab on here if I really wanted to, but I think that's a little excessive, especially for a Corolla. So stock S13 control arm. This is I believe it's a Megan tension rod. It actually has a little notch in it. No other company that make for AE86s makes an angled tension rod, because usually they don't have that much angle. I have the S13 spindle, still 4x114 as a stock wheel, so I can still use my regular wheels. I can actually go 5-lug if I wanted to, and front and rear if I wanted to, and change the wheels around. But S13 brakes, calipers. I actually have a PBM knuckle down here, made it to an S13 BC Racing coilover with an AE86 top hat. And that's really all it is. Obviously S13 power steering rack and tie rods. And I can show you, if you want to stay there and look at the, get a little bit better look at the components. You can see a lot more of it right there. This is actually still my original sway bar. Everything really just bolts right up. Now, powering this, the power steering rack, is not, you would think, an S13 power steering pump. Those are all old at this point and crusty, leak. So I decided we'll go back in the day, like how I originally had the power steering in this car with the AE86 stuff. I was using an SW20 power steering pump. Instead, you can still get these brand new. Back here is a Volvo power steering pump with a built-in reservoir. So the lines run from back here, along the frame rail here, up there into the engine bay, and then it's wired by my little switch panel in the front. So that's really all it takes. So it went in surprisingly easily. There were really not a lot of hiccups involved, and it drives amazing. I mean, it drives like an S13, to be honest.
Superior chassis.
But yeah, at this point, it's pretty much front half is all S13. You can still throw it around like a Corolla. It's still light, it's still tossable, and it's still solid rear axle, rear end, and everything. But it now actually have power steering. Now the reason I'm getting older, I've already done over 20 years of driving Corollas with manual racks, I'm tired, boss. I gotta be able to go home without being sore at the end of the day. So after a session of driving this, I'm not exhausted. I can get out. I don't have to worry about like passing out, especially on the hot summer days in Texas. And it's been great. My only complaint is that the wheels stick out a little too far for what I like. They're a little bit past my fenders. And with adjustable lower control arms, technically I could probably get that sucked in a little bit more if I really wanted to. I don't know if I'd probably lose a little bit of angle if I got to that point, but we'll see if I decide to do that. I had to raise the car up a little bit. Yes, it's lame, but at this point, I'm at a point in my life where I don't need to look cool. I just need it to work, and that's why it's set up. Actually, one of the neat things, or the nice things I'm going to be able to do now, is actually use the front center cap, because the Corolla's dust cap stuck out too much, so I couldn't use the center cap. But now I can put it on because I have a little room. All right. So for future updates, this pump does take up a lot of amps. Right now, occasionally I'll get little warning blips about low voltage on my gauge cluster. So the alternator, well, is down there. The alternator is down there, but I'm going to eventually switch it out. The stock alternator is only 80 amps. There's a mod where you can use a Nissan Quest alternator for SR, and I think it puts out 120, 125 amps, and that should cover the amperage draw that I'm lacking, and stop that little warning message from coming up. But honestly, I drove it all weekend at a COTA event. I got those little warning flashes, but it never failed to start on me. So maybe, do I really need it? Yeah, maybe not, but it's one of those just in case I decide to add a couple of other things.